Hi, my name is Pauline Cooper, and I was born and raised in Guayagari village. My parents' name are Alvin Ferrier and Eileen Cooper. I'm the mother of 3 children and 7 grandchildren. Presently, I'm the author of 8 books. My purpose of being here today is to create awareness as to what I am doing and my purpose for doing it. As a child, I was exposed to some very hard situations, difficulties, and we were what you call very poor, and as a consequence we were looked down on. Nevertheless, it never took away from me the desire to become a better person. I have seen, apart from myself, I've seen so many people struggle and looked down on because of their financial status, because of who their parents were, or whatever. And I thought it would be nice if I could help people believe in themselves more, which is the reason why I write. To backtrack a little bit, as a child, as I said before, I knew what it was to be abused, not just in my home, but in some of the homes I was given to. From the age of 3 years, as far as I could remember, till I was 18 years of age, I lived in 8 different homes. And in some of those homes, the treatments were very, very terrible, which has affected me in a very negative way. I have been plagued with self-esteem issues for more years than I care to remember. And for me, because of lack of knowledge and that kind of stuff, I tend to think that when I would have reached my teenage years, that I would have been able to eradicate those atrocities. But sadly, it was not so. The cycle of abuse somehow continued into my adult life. I was treated very poorly, and admittedly I myself had my behavioral issues, which may or may not have contributed to some of the adverse experiences. Nevertheless, I believe that there isn't any reason why someone should put their hands on another person, be it male or female. Abuse is not gender-based. Let us get that very, very clear. Abuse is simply not gender-based. After years of experiencing those atrocities, I thought to myself, why go through all of these things and not walk away from it with some type of valid lesson that I could share with others. I remembered some years ago I was invited to speak at a church, because by that time I started sharing little tidbits of my story. And after that service, I knew that people need to hear my story, because I realized that it could change lives, it could change how people view each other, how they view their situation. It could eliminate the fear that is associated in abusive situations where women are fearful to walk away because they feel that when they walk away, no one would love them again, no one would care for them again. They are walking away from their breadwinner, from what they believe is love. But I believe that love is absent wherever abuse is present. So I started writing. My initial intent was just to write little tidbits on Facebook and allow people to talk back, and that was going really, really well. And then I realized that if I could only like put together my thoughts in a booklet, it would be so much more effective. So I decided to start writing books. My first book is written 3 years ago. Although it's not the first book I started writing, but it's the first book I published. This book is called Tell Them. In this book, it highlights some of my hardships and how I overcame them. And it also encourages others to believe in themselves. This book speaks to people who are in hopeless situations, who are being abused, who are being neglected. Even to the abuser, is appealing to him or her to cease from their actions. And it also helps them to understand how much their actions are hurting their mates. In the cases of parents, how much their actions are hurting their parents, how it can affect them, long-term scars that it leaves in their lives. After this book, I felt like I didn't do enough, so I continued writing. And this happens to be my second book, which is called Tell Them More. Because I felt, as I said before, I felt like I did not say enough. Because for me, the subtitle on this book is Faith Changes Everything. Tell them more. Faith changes everything. And for me, faith has been the determined factor for many of these situations that I overcame. I know if I did not have faith, today I might have been dead. Because as we all know, if you don't know it well, you'll know today, abuse is a very progressive attribute. What started off as a slap could end in murder, could end in suicide, could end in permanent damage, could end in mental disorders. So much damage could be done if we remain in those situations. So this book teaches us to have faith, to exercise faith, to believe again in ourselves, to tap into our innate abilities to move forward. Right? This is what this book teaches you, to tap into your faith. Because if your faith is lying dormant, then you will remain in a situation that is asking you to leave. After writing these 2 books, I thought to myself, what about the kids who are there and suffering and who are abused? Because my situation started in my childhood. My disbelief in myself started in my childhood. I was called stupid for more years than I cared to remember, and I know I could not have been the only child that was faced with such a situation. So I decided I need to write books that would encourage children to love themselves. And this book, this is a children's prayer book. But in this book, the prayers are not the normal prayer. These prayers are geared towards helping children love how they were created. We have a society that is very much involved in bullying and making children feel if they are not a particular complexion, or if they do not have a particular hair type, or if their noses are too big like myself, if their mouth is too wide or their eyes are too bulging, that they are ugly. Sometimes even in our homes, parents and preferential treatment based on complexion, we cannot deny that those situations exist in our very homes. So this book is helping every child to affirm within their own minds that they are beautiful. Have prayers about loving your hands, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, loving creation. And as I said, it's about empowering the child. It's about helping children establish their own feelings about self, that they would not be dependent on society to affirm who they are, to confirm who they are, but that they would know for themselves that I am beautiful, in spite of what you may say, or he may say, or she may say. I am beautiful. I was created beautiful. I was created perfect. I was created wonderful, brilliant, smart. This book is to assist children in believing themselves. And then I wrote this book called Grammars Are Special too, because I myself, I am a grandmother, and I really, really love my grandchildren. And for me, because of what I was going through as a mother, it was difficult to show the kind of love I wanted to show to my children. I was unable to do that. But when my grandchildren came along, it gave me an opportunity to love again. Because by that time, all the things that would besetting me, I had already eradicated it out of my life. So this is a book for grandmas and their grandkids to have fun together. You notice in the back it have a couple pages where grandmas and their grandchildren could sit down and have quality time together, calling and chit-chatting. The book is really fun. It's about grandma and grandchildren having fun. One of my books, a couple of my books is missing, but I have another book called For the Love of Birds, and one that is called My Little Book of Positive Affirmations, which I think every young boy, every young girl, from the minute you are able to read, you should own a book like that, because it encourages you to speak positively to and about yourself on a daily basis. Because we are what we speak. We are what we think. Words are power packed. And if we speak into our lives positively, the outcome would be positive as well. So that book, my little book of positive affirmation, is about keeping yourself in that positive space. Right? And then I wrote my memoir, but it's under a pen name called Bobby Benson. This was actually the very first book I wrote, but not the first published. And this book, the intent of this book is never to assassinate the character of any person in this book, but more so to highlight some of the challenges that we face as children, as wives, as mothers, and also to help us understand that when we remain in an abusive situation, it is at our own risk. We can become abusers as well. We can entertain thoughts that we never would have imagined possible. We can become ugly like the situation that we are in once we remain in it. This book will help you see that. Right? It is very detailed in this book. My story is written in a very detailed manner. But I can well imagine that after reading this book, many lives can be changed, because there are a lot of advices, a lot of prayer in it as well. And it will also encourage soul searching, because some of us, I believe, are not aware of the damages that we are causing by being an abuser. And some of us do not know that our actions are not only affecting the person that you are dehumanizing, but the ones that are looking on, like your children, how it affects your children, which for me is the most important thing to take note of. How our actions as parents affect our children, how it has affect them in their schoolwork, in their general mannerism with other children, their interactions with other kids, how it affects the type of husband or the type of wife they would become one day, how it will affect the type of mother or even father they would be one day. This book helps you to understand. I feel after reading this book, every person that reads this book would want to desist from being an abuser. Every person that reads this book and in an abusive relationship would want to walk away, would be brave enough to walk away. Because half of the time people remain is because of fear. Fear is a contributing factor. They're afraid to trust themselves. They are afraid to trust other people. They are afraid of so many things. So this book is going to empower you. Empower is the perfect word. As ugly as this story may appear, there is beauty in it. Because it really, really adds strength to those who are weak, courage, will teach you how to be patient, to love yourself again, This book will do that. And then after writing all of these books, one of the things that I notice is we as victims, I am no longer a victim, but the victims of abuse are misunderstood by society in general, on a whole. They are blamed, in many instances they are blamed for the atrocities that is perpetrated against them. Society do not understand why they stay. I myself did not understand why I stay. But fear. Those deep-seated fear, most of the times, they originate from as early as your childhood, in my instance, and in many other persons' instance. They would have been watching what happened with their neighbors, their friends, and how much those people took. Because I remember as a child, almost every person that lived around us, they were abused as well. But in those times, abuse was not evil. It was accepted. It was, they somehow accepted it as norm. That it was normal for a man to beat a woman. It was normal for the woman to stay and take it. In many instances, our grandparents, our parents have encouraged us to stay in those situations because they would have thought that's how life's supposed to be. For people to be submissive, for a woman to be submissive, or a child to be obedient. You have to be them, you know? And that was acceptable in society. But we know for a fact now, times have changed. And we know for a fact now that abuse is unacceptable treatment. It's a no-no. So because of those misunderstandings, the perils that these victims face on a daily basis, I thought I should write this book. Another thing is, sometimes after people walk away from their situation, somehow society feels that that's the end of this life of abuse, or that should end their fears, that should somehow make them okay. But even after you have walked away, there are so many things that you are expected to build back. Because while you are in those type of situations, there are parts of you that are dying every day, that eroding, that it's unimaginable. The type of suffering the victims of abuse go through. You know, your peace, your joy. Some people lose their smile. Some people do not know how to sit down and enjoy a good meal or have a good laugh. You know, there are so much things that you lost while in those type of situations. So after you walk away, one thing you must bear in mind is that you have to build back, restore what was taken away from you by your abuser. And trading my ashes is about me trading my experiences, the wisdom that I have attained through those atrocities, about trading it. For me, I think that my experiences has given me some gems that are share worthy. And I would feel really out of place if I did not share it. You know, so in this book, teaches you to love again. It teaches you to trust again. It helps even the families and friends of those victims to better understand the challenges that they face even after walking away. You know, something that I always say, some people feel that all the victims of abuse need is a word of encouragement or words of encouragement. But that is not true. Victims of abuse need financial support in some instances. They need somebody to walk them through, take them to their place of transformation. They need that. They need a great listener. They need friends. They need confidence. They need support, mental support. They need more than a word of advice, which is what most people are willing to offer, just a word of advice. And after that, they have nothing else to offer. So what, in those instances where there's nothing else to offer, what we have is a woman or a man who is struggling to find back themselves, to find back their worth, to find back, you know, to become themselves, you know, to return to that place where they feel self-assured. And that could be a real struggle if you do not have the type of support you need during those times. So this book will make you more aware of the challenges and how you could be of better assistance to those struggling men, women, boy, and girl. Okay, well, prior to, on Saturday the 15th of July, I launched this book in Trinidad at Mayaro Community Center. And my God, what an experience that was. Prior to this launch, I did 2 other launches in Brooklyn, New York. And yes, they were wonderful events. They were wonderful, right? And they were supported by some friends from back home here, friends that I grew up with. And I was really, really thankful for their support while being in the US, right? But Saturday's launch, if I have to put one word to define the experience, I would say spectacular. The response from persons who attended is mind-blowing, you know. Yesterday I met my friend and she explained to me, she said, Pauline, she's not only a friend, she's my neighbor. And she said, Pauline, I've seen what you have gone through as a woman. I was there. She said, and what I saw Saturday, I knew, I know God has changed you. God has delivered you. She said, what an event that was. The people that work alongside me, they did a tremendous job. A tremendous, tremendous job. I remember one person said that that place looked like it was somewhere international level. Because I believe in quality. And I got quality. Everything was just fantastic. You know, today I want to take the opportunity to thank my older sister Hazel and my niece for decorating that place. It was, they worked hard. And it was wonderful. It was beautifully, tastefully done. And I cannot repay them for their hard work. for all who contributed, like Matthew Pierre, who ensured that I received timely assistance for the printing of the books. I want to say thank you. For all who attended, thank you. And for the people that performed, my God, memories of those performances will remain with me for, I think, for a lifetime. People like Nikita Nurse, Anissa Ebony Paul, Zakia Gill, Kay Riggs, my goddaughter Jennifer Ford. I want to ensure that I'm not missing anyone. But for every person who performed, your performances were, Pauline Johnson, your performances were really, really of a very high standard, and I just want to thank you all publicly for coming through for me. I am super grateful to you guys. That evening could not have been what it was without you all. For Miss Una Alexander, who did reflections, my God, I was extremely proud of where she placed me. You know, because I mean, some people may not understand the extent of my pride, but from being called stupid for more than 40 years to now be called an author, that is something I am very, very proud of, that I worked towards changing how people saw me. It was hard work. I had to go through the gooiness, I had to go through so many things to reach to this point, where I could finally feel worthy, or that I am very that my society could depend on me to do something worthwhile, that I could give back, even after so much was taken away from me. I could now give back, you know, to my pastor, who was part and parcel of my transformation. He was one of the few people that believed in me when no one else believed in me. And he pushed, pushed until something happened. And today, this is what happened. Because I allow myself to go through what I had to go through to bring me to this point. I know many would have given up. Many would not have lived to tell this story, to tell their story. Many have not lived. Many were killed because they did not have the gut to walk away. Thank God for the people who supported me, who nurtured me, who believed in me. Thank you. Thank you to Mayaro. Thank you to Mayaro and environments. environs for believing in me. Presently at the Mayaro Library, and I just want to thank them for accommodating me as well. And I just want to encourage not only writers, but every person that aspire to be anything they want to be, whatever your aspirations, whatever your goals, whatever your dreams, just follow it. I know, like for me, one of the first comments that I received when I started writing was very negative. But you know what? That didn't stop me. So I just want to let you all know that when you begin to follow your dreams, there are going to be distractors and distractions. That's why it's important to believe in yourself first before you start anything. Ensure that you as an individual believes in yourself, believes in your dreams. Every person in planet Earth, every person that was created with purpose attached to their DNA. Every life has value. Every person can make a positive contribution to society. It may differ from mine. You may not be a writer. You may not be a motivational speaker as myself. You may not be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer. But whatever your aspirations, know that it is important. There's space for every dream in the universe. Every one of our dreams will be accommodated. May not be by who you want, but trust when I say God has already deposited people in this universe that would buy into your dreams, that will help nurture your dreams. So do not be afraid. Just go for it. When I started writing, I had no idea who would edit my book, but I was writing anyway. Thank God for the cyber world that you could go and seek information. You could type in anything and get some type of information. And that's how I moved forward. I was able to type in and get editors. At that time I was in the US. When I published my other 7 books, I was in the US. And I did all my work online and was very satisfied with it. Since I came back home, I'm using our local editors and printers. I just want to thank them. Right? As I said before, you do not have to use the same editor as myself, but if you need recommendation, feel free to email me at pvcooper65yahoo.com or message me on Facebook. My name is Pauline Cooper on Facebook. You can message me and I will give you all the information you need concerning editors, publishers. If you want costing, no problem. Feel free to message me or even email me and see where we go from there.